Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in this beautiful Acropolis Museum for the official handover of the title of European Capital of Culture from Esch-sur-Alzette, Kaunas, and Novi Sad to Elefsina, Timișoara, and Vesprem Balaton. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are passing the torch. We're passing the torch by means of a beautiful sculpture created especially for this occasion. You see it over there. It's a sculpture created by an artist from Luxembourg, Pascal Zeil. And the sculpture you see is actually a bull inspired by Greek mythology. The bull stands for Europe, for unity. Unity for Europe, unity for diversity, a unity that is strong, because I can assure you it's not easy to break the glass, and a unity that is transparent, a unity that has the colors of Europe, yellow and blue, of course, and that is a representation of the diversity of our European unity. And it is exactly that diversity that is the strength of the European Capitals of Culture project. The Capitals of Cultures are cities that collaborate. They collaborate with each other, cities that are complementary to each other, and therefore bring together people, cities, countries, and cultures through culture. We are here to celebrate, ladies and gentlemen, this cooperation, and of course we've chosen Athens as the place to celebrate this. Athens, the first European capital of culture, and this is also a tribute to Melina Mercouri, to Jacques Lang, and to our common culture in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the Vice President of the European Commission and the Commissioner for the Promotion of the European Way of Life, Margaritis Schinas.
Kalispera, good afternoon. Our foreign guests will allow me to start in my mother tongue. Αξιότιμη κυρία Υπουργέ, κύριε Υπουργοί, κύριοι βουλευτές, κύριοι δήμαρχοι, φίλες και φίλοι. Είναι μεγάλη χαρά που βρισκόμαστε σήμερα εδώ, στον ιερό χώρο της Ακρόπολης, σύμβολο του παγκόσμιου πολιτισμού, στην Αθήνα, την πρώτη πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα της Ευρώπης το 1985. Δεν θα μπορούσε να υπάρξει καλύτερος τρόπος από τη σημερινή τελετή παράδοσης του τίτλου της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας της Ευρώπης για να ξεκινήσουμε αυτή τη νέα χρονιά με μια ευχή που εγώ τουλάχιστον κάνω ολόψυχα, αυτή η χρονιά να σημαδέψει και την επιστροφή της ειρήνης στην Ευρώπη. Είναι η ώρα να σωπάσουν τα κανόνια και η νομιμότητα να αντικαταστήσει την αυθαιρεσία και την παρανομία. Φίλες και φίλοι, εδώ και 38 χρόνια οι πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες της Ευρώπης έχουν εξελιχθεί σε μια από τις πιο φιλόδοξες και σίγουρα πιο εμβληματικές πολιτιστικές πρωτοβουλίες της Ευρώπης, θεμελιώνοντας τον αστήρευτο πλούτο και την ποικιλομορφία του ευρωπαϊκού πολιτισμού και της ευρωπαϊκής πολιτιστικής μας κληρονομιάς. Αυτοί οι ισχυροί δεσμοί που μας ενώνουν, αυτοί ακριβώς οι δεσμοί είναι και αυτοί που μας φέρνουν σήμερα όλους εδώ, σε αυτή την αίθουσα. Σε αυτή την πολυετή επιτυχή πορεία, πάνω από 60 πόλεις σε όλη την Ευρωπαϊκή Ήπειρο καταξιώθηκαν με τον τιμητικό τίτλο της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας της Ευρώπης. Η κάθε μια από αυτές είχε το δικό της ξεχωριστό στίγμα, το ξεχωριστό αποτύπωμα και την διακριτή της σφραγίδα. Κάθε πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα αναδεικνύει την μοναδικότητα των πολιτισμών μας και τελικά την ευρύτερη πολιτιστική μας ταυτότητα. Αυτό το ξεχωριστό ευρωπαϊκό τρόπο ζωής, την κοινωνία που μας αντιπροσωπεύει. Προσοχή όμως, αυτή η ευρωπαϊκή πολιτιστική ταυτότητα δεν προκύπτει γιατί υπάρχει ένας Homo Europaeus. Δεν είμαστε ίδιοι, αλλά πορευόμαστε μαζί. Υπάρχει ένα corpus valorem ευρωπαϊκό. Υπάρχει ένα σύνολο αξιών και αρχών που μας δένει. Αυτός είναι ο ευρωπαϊκός τρόπος ζωής, η έκφραση των ευρωπαϊκών μας αρχών, της ειρήνης, της ελευθερίας, της ανεκτικότητας, της δημοκρατίας, της δικαιοσύνης και των δικαιωμάτων. Αυτοί είμαστε. Αυτό είναι το ευρωπαϊκό μας DNA. Αυτό είναι για το οποίο πολλοί μας θαυμάζουν σε όλο τον κόσμο, αλλά αυτό και για το οποίο ορισμένοι μας ζηλεύουν. Γιατί αυτό που για μας είναι μια πηγή περηφάνειας, για ορισμένους είναι μια απειλή. Απειλή στο δικό τους μοντέλο, μιας κλειστής κοινωνίας, ενός αυταρχικού τρόπου οργάνωσης της κοινής του ζωής. Dear friends, let me share a few thoughts on the 6 European cities that we're honoring today. And let me start with the 3 outgoing European capitals of culture. As you will find out in a moment, for some strange reason, it happens to have some personal connections to the 3 outgoing capitals. First, Esch-sur-Alzette in Luxembourg. Esch-sur-Alzette is the symbol of the transition from the steel and coal community to the new, sustainable, digital and green economy. Esch-sur-Alzette is a success story. And Esch-sur-Alzette is also Jean-Claude Juncker territory. It is a place, it is a city which is emblematic of what brings Europeans together, because it was around Esch that thousands of European migrants for generations found work, dignity, and prosperity. And this is something that we owe you. Then we also had Kaunas in Lithuania, one of the symbols of the transition from totalitarianism to democracy. And there again, on a personal note, I was telling the minister, I have to share with you that as a young basketball player in Aris Thessaloniki, I grew up with Zalgiris Kaunas and Arvidas Sabonis as my role models. Kaunas was far from Thessaloniki, but it was very close to my heart. And last but not least, Novi Sad in Serbia. Also a place of special importance to me, as it was one of the first, actually the second city I traveled abroad as a child. I still remember that my father bought his first car, so he took us to Belgrade, which was the first city I visited, and then he said, why don't we go further on to Novi Sad? Who would have told me 50 years later that I would be the Vice President of the Commission honoring Novi Sad as the European Culture Capital of 22. Also a few thoughts on the 3 incoming capitals of culture. As of today, I look forward seeing how the 3 incoming capitals will continue to bring these immense cultural, social, economic benefits not only to themselves, but also to the surrounding regions, to their countries, and of course to our union. Let me start with the city martyr of Timisoara in Romania, which successfully turned the page of dark authoritarian times to become a city symbol of democracy, a cradle of European democracy, a symbol of hope. And also we have Veszprém in Hungary, with its beautiful and attractive surroundings and spa resorts, although far from the sea, with the immensity of water being present of their daily lives. Και τέλος, η Ελευσίνα, η δική μας Ελευσίνα. Μια πόλη που για ένα χρόνο θα παντρέψει το χθες με το αύριο. Με τους δρόμους της μετάλλαξης θα καταστεί επάξια μια πόλη σύμβολο εξωστρέφειας, αλλά και ένα φυτόριο πολιτισμού πανευρωπαϊκής εμβέλειας. Η Ελευσίνα, κοιτώντας προς το αύριο, θα περάσει με αυτοπεποίθηση στο μέλλον της νέας οικονομίας. Από το καρνάγιο στον πολιτισμό, στην πράσινη οικονομία και στην ψηφιακή διακυβέρνηση. Η Ελευσίνα όμως είναι δυνατή και ισχυρή ως ευρωπαϊκή πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα, γιατί έχει και τις βαθιές ρίζες στο χθες. Τα ελευσίνια μυστήρια σφράγισαν ανεξίτηλα τον κλασικό πολιτισμό. Και δεν το λέμε εμείς οι Έλληνες, το είπε ο Κικέρον, ένας Ρωμαίος Λατίνος. Είπε ότι τα μυστήρια είναι ο εξαίρετος θεϊκός θεσμός που η Αθήνα χάρισε στην ανθρωπότητα. Μέσω αυτών εμείς οι υπόλοιποι αποβάλαμε το βάρβαρο και άγριο τρόπο ζωής. Μορφωθήκαμε και εκπολιτιστήκαμε. Μάθαμε να ζούμε ευτυχισμένοι, αλλά και να πεθαίνουμε με μια καλύτερη ελπίδα. Αυτές οι βαθιές ρίζες της Ελευσίνας, που μιλάνε και για ελπίδα, ειδικά εδώ από την ποδιά της Ακρόπολης, μου γεννάνε και μια άλλη ελπίδα, που θα μου επιτρέψετε αυτή τη σημαντική ευρωπαϊκή βραδιά να μοιραστώ μαζί σας. Τα ελευσίνια μυστήρια είχαν άμεση σύνδεση με την Ακρόπολη και τον Παρθενώνα. Σύνδεση λατρευτική, σύνδεση οργανική, σύνδεση πολιτιστική. Και αυτό μου γεννάει μια τελική σκέψη, αλλά και μια ρεαλιστική ελπίδα. Πριν από 2 χρόνια είχα γράψει ένα άρθρο γνώμης για τους Times του Λονδίνου, όπου είχα εκφράσει την ευχή να επανενωθούν τα γλυπτά του Παρθενώνα το 2024, με τη σημειολογική αφορμή της επετείου των 200 χρόνων από το θάνατο του Λόρδου Βύρωνα. Φίλες και φίλοι, κυρία Υπουργέ, επιτρέψτε μου σήμερα, από εδώ, από το Μουσείο της Ακρόπολης, μια τέτοια ευρωπαϊκή βραδιά, να επικαιροποιήσω αυτό το άρθρο γνώμης. Μακάρι η επανένωση των γλυπτών του Παρθενώνα να συμπέσει με τη χρονιά της Ελευσίνας ως πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας της Ευρώπης. Δεν θα υπάρχει πιο ωραίο, πιο συμβολικό, πιο διαχρονικό και πιο ελπιδοφόρο μήνυμα. Όχι μόνο για τους Έλληνες, για όλους τους Ευρωπαίους, για όλους τους ελευθερόφρονες ανθρώπους που πιστεύουν στις αξίες του δυτικού πολιτισμού. Φίλες και φίλοι, με αυτή τη σκέψη, την ελπίδα και την ευχή, θέλω να σας διαβεβαιώσω ότι μαζί με τη συνάδελφό μου, την Επίτροπο για τον Πολιτισμό, τη Μαρία Γκάμπριελ, θα δουλέψουμε και αυτό το χρόνο για να διασφαλίσουμε ότι η προσέγγιση Team Europe, ομάδα Ευρώπη, θα αποκτήσει ακόμα περισσότερη αξία στο πεδίο του πολιτισμού και της πολιτιστικής δράσης. Ως ενωμένη ευρωπαϊκή ομάδα θα αποφέρουμε τα μέγιστα σε αυτό το δεσμό. Ο πολιτισμός είναι Ευρώπη και Ευρώπη είμαστε όλοι εμείς μαζί. Και οι 6 πόλεις που γιορτάζουμε σήμερα θα είναι για πάντα πρέσβεις αυτού του μηνύματος. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ. Καλή επιτυχία. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sinas. Let's start with the outgoing capitals. Let's start with the second largest city in Luxembourg that held the title of European Capital of Culture, together with 10 municipalities in Luxembourg and 8 French municipalities alongside the border. Ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Braun, CEO for ECoC 2022, and Danielle Cohn-Stoffels, who represents the Minister of Culture of Luxembourg.
So, good evening, dear Mr. Skinas, Vice President of European Commission, dear Ministers of Culture, Excellencies, dear friends of the European Capital of Culture, dear guests. To be here today in Athens to celebrate the handover of the title is something very special, something special for all of us, but also for Luxembourg, and I think for me personally. It shows that Europe holds together and is together, at least through the common denominator of culture. Culture is what makes us. It shows who we are and how we live with each other in our countries, but also beyond our borders. Esch-sur-Alzette, which together with the surrounding region, and it was mentioned, in the south of Luxembourg and the bordering France, called the Minette, had the honor and pleasure to hold the title of the European Capital of Culture in 22, is with its entire territory part of 2 founding states of the European Union. And I can say, we live Europe every day. Every day, more than 200,000 people commute to work in Luxembourg. From Germany, France, and Belgium, many citizens in the Grand Duchy have a second nationality, speak at least 3 languages or more, or have 3 official languages in country alone. There are 120 nationalities living in Esch-sur-Alzette, not least because, and it was said, thank you very much, of our industrial history around and the steel industry in the south of the country, which are the basis of our identity and, incidentally, prosperity in our country. They have found a home with us over the centuries and past decades. Diversity, yes, we live it. It has determined our culture program with its 160 projects and more than 2,400 events. Some of these projects have been developed ourselves with the core team of ECoC 2022, my team, but the far greater number of projects have been developed by artists, institutions, associations, schools, volunteers, citizens in the region, together with international guests and friends. They have invited to their home and adopted country, networked through and rethought remixed. Remix culture was the motto which took place in every conceivable level. And we mixed Europe, also by working very closely with our 2 sister cities, Kaunas and Novi Sad, because we have more in common than just the fact that we all put the spotlight on the 2nd largest city in each of our countries. We have looked together into the past and into our future, built bridges together. The artists present today, you will see Ryan and Morgan and Servan Lomoller contributed, for example, to this wonderful program we had in ECoC 2022. Together we lived and presented European diversity. We were part of a newfound family, and you know it, it's the ECoC family. Title holders from the past, present, and future. And it shows culture connects, definitely, not only yesterday and today, also tomorrow. However, it only works together. Together, across or not yet open borders, with tolerance, curiosity, participation, with understanding and integration, also of those who, for whatever reason, do not have it so easy to find access to culture. We have experienced it ourselves, and all future ECoCs will see it. The most important thing will be to integrate local people. They must want to and be able to take an active part. They must be allowed to find their place and have the motivation to continue, because even there is a lot going on in the European Capital of Culture in 1 year, the title year, but that is just the beginning of a new future for the local people and those who come to visit, for those who help shape daily life, for those who participate in it. The future means responsibility, and each individual will shape the future and must take responsibility for it. I wish the acting cities, Elefsina, Timișoara, Veszprém, a lot of inspiration, courage and strength, a lot of fun and joy, and above all, and not only your motivation is important, but also the one of your politicians, partners, guests, citizens, because they are the ones who will be responsible as well for your success. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. That was well said, because that's what we need, politicians that support us. Good evening, Commissioner Skinas, dear ministers, excellencies, dear ECoC family, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor and pleasure of representing the Minister for Culture of Luxembourg, Mrs. Sam Tanson, who to her great regret cannot attend the ceremony tonight due to a major stakeholder meeting tomorrow, and actually it was also today in Luxembourg. However, she sends you all her best wishes, and she asked me to convey her message to you. So some of the ideas, of course, are also in this message, but they can't be repeated more. I think they're important to be repeated again and again. A European Capital of Culture represents a privileged and special moment in time, not only because it is the apotheosis of a long selection and preparation process, but also because it carries a fundamental European mission and concern. On the one hand, the capital is a year-long invitation to confront yourself with creative perceptions on societal issues, putting the extraordinary ingenuity of culture, artists, and creative professionals to the center of attention. At the same time, the capitals of culture also pursue objectives that are even more relevant now that Europe is confronted with a cruel war. They are an extraordinary gateway to European cultures in all their diversity and access code to better understand, respect, and value our cultures. Each capital gives insights into its local or regional uniqueness seen in the context of common European history and heritage. When in 1985, Melina Mercouri and Jacques Lang came up with the idea of capitals of culture to bring Europeans and their cultures closer together, they probably did not imagine the impact, importance, and longevity of their project. However, if the European capitals of culture are today one of the most significant actions of the European Union in the cultural field, it is also due to the fact that they actually go beyond the year of the title. Concerning Esch-sur-Alzette, the minister has always stressed this since the very beginning, probably giving a fright at first to the city authorities, for whom it has been indeed quite an adventure, given the size of the city of Esch-sur-Alzette and the distinctive approach of its concept. With the Remix Culture motto, Ash 22 sought a particularly holistic approach, not only by making Europe, nature and climate change, the individual and culture itself the main topics. Ash 2022 also chose to cover a whole region composed, as was said, 11 Luxembourgish and 8 French municipalities right across the border of Ash and its region. This cross-border aspect was of particular importance for the Remix project because the whole region shares a common history and heritage as one of Europe's most important steel industry hotspots nearly until the 1970s. Cross-border was a reality in the area even before the Treaty of Paris established the European Coal and Steel Community in 1951 as frontrunner to the European Union. Today, frontiers have disappeared with the Schengen Treaty, and cross-border takes on a different reality, as Nancy has said, with more than 200,000 workers commuting on a daily basis from our 3 neighboring countries to earn their living in Luxembourg. How does one live and exchange now with these neighbors, other than on the motorway, in trains, on buses, or at work? How can a common past and heritage be transformed into a shared future in this region at the heart of Europe that has embarked on a trek of profound changes and reorientations? ASH 2022 took up these questions, living up to the second objective of the ECoCs, namely to foster the contribution of culture to long-term development of cities. Clearly, this is an ongoing process and one of the reasons why ASH 2022 has not ended on December 31st. The other reason that is just as decisive relates to culture as such. ASH 2022 has been an important step and powerful driver not only to mobilize creativity, but also to encourage active participation in projects and make participatory culture that deals with societal issues tangible. Culture and artists' role in defining our society, our coexistence, our social and economic development, and finally our common European identity does not fade with the end of a title year. The capital of culture, having granted access to culture to a larger public and population, the challenge of staying on that track has now only started. The same is true for other developments that ASH 2022 has triggered, such as the further establishment of digital arts in our national context, or the development of an important expertise around culture and sustainable development that other ECoCs are now about to take over. In this framework, sharing the title with Kaunas and Novi Sad was an extremely important component of the entire project. Literally across Europe, views, experiences, and developments could be exchanged, be it on the artistic level or in relation to issues that concern Europe and the European Union. It is through this exchange that Europe continues to grow as cultural identities are strengthened and mutual understanding is stimulated. The Minister would like to congratulate ASH, Kaunas, Novi Sad for their achievements and wish very good luck to this year's capitals of culture, Elefsina, Timișoara, and Veszprém. Finally, since the capitals of culture go beyond the title year, we can only conclude by saying that it's not a year-long, but a standing invitation, not only to come and see how the adventure continues in Ash-sur-Alzette and its region, but also to continue to support the capitals, enhance the European spirit of community, solidarity, and sharing of common values. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And we're very honored, ladies and gentlemen, to have the Minister for Culture in Lithuania here, Mr. Simonas Kairis, and the CEO for Kaunas 2022, Virginia Vitkiene. They both represent the beautiful capital of culture, Kaunas. The floor is yours.
Dear honorable guests, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, and our peer colleagues of European Capitals of Culture. In the name of Kaunas 2022 team, I would like to congratulate Elefsina, Timișoara, and Veszprém with upcoming year of their lives, historical year. Sincere support and admiration goes to your dedicated culture professionals and colleagues who actually acknowledged the need for change through culture. Several years ago, as you know, European Capital of Culture is a project of 6-7 years in advance. So please don't forget those efforts you made already and take the chance to celebrate this year. We all together share European values as human dignity, responsibility for others, and respect to others. And these values are very important urgently important in the current situation of new aggressive war in Europe we all encounter today, sadly. In Kaunas, Lithuania, we spent preparatory years connecting with local people, communities, through artistic collaborations across Europe. And our project was implemented by 72 cultural institutions in Lithuania who had more than 500 European partner institutions or collectives. Can you imagine what a bunch of professionals and artists participated in this event? And only counting our collaboration with Esztergom and Novi Sad, we all triangle European capitals of culture had more than 50 projects made in collaboration and co-produced together. So it's the big celebration of European idea, of European unity, which we stand for. And I would proudly say that European Capital of Culture is one of the most important tools in European Union and Europe itself to connect people through culture. We all who implement these projects, I would say we are blessed by destiny. It's the most difficult, actually, job I had ever had in my life, but it's most blessed experience. So please cherish this incredible moment of your life of your generation, and please cherish those who work next to you. You will need each other's support very often during this year. And you, Elefsina, Timișoara, and Veszprém, Balaton definitely have our unconditional support through this year. You already made it, so now it's time to celebrate.
So good evening, dear Vice President of European Commission, dear Minister, dear distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, and firstly, I'm very glad to see all the representatives from all the European capitals of culture, ones who just finish the journey of the title year, and others who just begin this journey of the title year. So once you got this title, you have a duty to keep this forever. And Mr. Vice President of European Commission, if you look to the formats, what we have in European Union, I think European Capital of Culture format is like a second in a row after presidency of European Council. Because if you look to the duration, to the cooperation, international things, and etc., and the biggest advantage is that this format is not about governments. This object is about people and the culture as a tool of change. I'm very thrilled to be here at the very core of the European Capital of Culture. It all started here with a very brave idea which grew into a long-lasting tradition. For decades, it keeps strengthening the values and the cultural background which we share as Europeans. It helps maintaining the culture in our outlook not only on some special occasions, but also in our daily practices. The history of European Capital of Culture may have had some good times as well as some hard times. Yet today it unites us more than ever. And therefore today this initiative is more relevant, more urgent than ever. In 2022 we saw very powerful initiatives when European Capital of Culture also became a platform for Ukrainian artists. This is very meaningful not only in the sense of art. First of all, it is meaningful as a support and solidarity with Ukraine. Every performance, every exhibition, every show by Ukrainian artists is also a significant statement that country is alive, that they keep fighting, that they don't give up, and they will win. They keep living their lives and creating stronger Ukraine and stronger Europe. I encourage all the 3 European capitals of culture who are carrying this title this year to continue this mission and to share their cultural platform with Ukrainian artists. Let we all widely open the doors and welcome Ukraine to our European family. Lithuanian philosopher Leonidas Donskis once said, "The European solidarity, first of all, comes from culture." Let me add one more notion. If we believe in the future of Europe, we must cherish the present of European culture. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who took part in pursuing the European Capital of Culture programs in 2022. Kaunas, Novi Sad, Eshsurozet showed us that culture can be separated from community. Culture must always keep looking for the audience. Culture must reach those people who don't have an easy access to cultural and art institutions. Culture also must see and attract those people who are in pain, who are in poverty, in danger, in grief, and in loneliness. We all need more people involved in culture. We all need more culture in our lives. Yes, sometimes more, it's really more. More culture means more creativity, more critical thinking, more freedom. These are the values that are capable of forming the better future and the world better place to live. Let's keep those values strong. Let's keep defending them together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, lots of bridges were built in 2022. Bridges to connect people, to leave legacies, and to link cultures, especially in the Serbian city, Novi Sad. Please welcome for Novi Sad 2022, the advisor for international cultural relations, Vuk Radulovic, and CEO for Novi Sad 22, Nemanja Milenkovic.
Dear people, good night. Well, maybe it's, informal starting, and, it's maybe not appropriate, but what I learned from culture field, from artists, it's the most important thing to be informal. After this title year, so much formal interviews and speeches, I really decide to be informal. Why? How? Well, the most valuable word that I learned from this process, from candidacy until this official handover, is one word: family. The family of European capitals of culture. This is, and if you're formal, then it's dysfunctional family. You have to be honest, you have to live in solidarity, you have to live life. That's the culture. The culture is not to become the European capital of culture with organizing so many exhibitions, concerts, performances, etc. It's about a way of living. And this way of living, we really lived in 2022 with our such a great family of Kaunas and Dash. And, if you put that in the context of COVID and the current situation in Europe, for every European capital culture, to organizing such a big project, very specific, very tough, if I may say, honestly, it's a big challenge. It's adventure. But in 2022, it was a miracle. And I really congratulate to my, not partners from Ash and Kaunas, but my friends and my family. So this moment is even more important because I hopefully think that it's important to stay as a legacy of European Capital Culture, this official handover, and this togetherness that we built in last year with 2 cities, that we leave that to 3 other cities, from Vesprem, Timisoara, and Elefsina, and I hopefully see all these faces and even more for 2024 on the same place, and to stay as a tradition, because we have to believe in that future, like Melina Mercouri believed that, and I truly believe that she will be very proud in this moment. So if it is a new page of the history of European capital culture, then thank you, Nancy, thank you, Virginia, and your teams, and good luck. I wish you good luck for 2023 for 3 other cities. Thank you very much.
Dear Mr. Deputy President, honorable ministers, distinguished representatives of governments and local self-governments, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to greet you on behalf of Ministry of Culture of the Republic of Serbia, the country where the exciting and vibrant program of the European Capital of Culture was successfully implemented last year. Novi Sad, the second largest city in Serbia, long acclaimed as a regional center of culture and arts, but also a positive example of intercultural dialogue and multiculturalism, had a unique opportunity to present the diversity and richness of its cultural expression to all Europeans. Accordingly, the past year in the city was marked by European cooperation and solidarity, promotion of European values, and programs that address key European topics and challenges, highlighting European diversity through the examples of different ways of counting time, issues of climate and sustainability, migrations, social equality, and reconciliations are just some of the topics that were artistically covered through the European Capital of Culture program in Novi Sad. Novi Sad 2021 is a project of special importance for the Republic of Serbia. This is rooted in the fact that this was the first European capital of culture ever that was being implemented in our country. This has enabled the creation of new and sustainable partnerships between cultural organizations and artists, cities, but also decision makers from Serbia and all across Europe. This is best evidenced by the fact that there were more than 1,500 cultural events organized during the year, with the participation of almost 1,700 artists from 45 countries in Europe and worldwide. During more than 10 years of preparations, inviolable and vibrant cooperation with other European capitals of culture was achieved, which enabled the realization of numerous artistic and capacity building programs. The Novi Sad 2022 project also made a fascinating contribution to the progress of European integration and the harmonization of Serbia's cultural policies with EU approaches. In addition, and no less important, the project also has enabled better connecting of local communities, new participatory and strategic approaches, as well as further development of the cultural scene of Novi Sad. Numerous capital projects have contributed to the urban development of the city and the renewal of the cultural spaces and capacities of the local scene. Recognizing this enormous development potential of the project, already at the end of 2016, the government of the Republic of Serbia declared Novi Sad 2022 a cultural project of national importance. This has enabled better coordination and connecting among all levels of government and different sectors and services, thus ensuring stable political, professional, and logistical support for Novi Sad 2022 team. We are proud of the fact that the Ministry of Culture, for its part, if I may say so, was providing continuous financial and logistical assistance and strongly supported the smooth implementation of the project. Furthermore, based on the experience gained during the implementation of the aforementioned project, the Ministry of Culture launched the Serbian Capital of Culture project. The main goal of this initiative is to encourage the decentralization of the cultural content, develop the capacities of local self-governments, and present the diversity and tradition of the local and European communities. We are very happy to be here, to be present today at this symbolical event here in Athens, where the idea of European Capital of Culture was born almost 40 years ago. We believe that this unique ceremony presents in the nicest possible way the solidarity and openness of cooperation of the former and future centers of European culture, and constitutes a unique invitation to continue and deepen the cultural exchanges between our cities and countries. Therefore, we recognize the importance of this event, which is organized for the first time, as well as its potential to become a traditional celebration of successful cooperation and connections between European capitals of culture. We remain open to all forms of collaboration, and we look forward to new opportunities to implement the joint programs. Kali tihi, mult norok, sok szerencset, hvala. Thank you so much for the attention.
Thank you very much. We really couldn't have organized an official handover without enjoying an artistic moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to announce to you two people who really represent European diversity. They represent the European identity. I think they speak 7 or 8 languages. I think they embody 4 or 5 different nationalities. Ladies and gentlemen, the one is a dancer, Rhiannon Morgan, and the other an accordionist, Servan Lomoler. Please give them a warm applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Rhiannon Morgan and Servan Lemoner. Thank you. Let us now welcome the new European capitals of culture and start with the Hungarian city of Veszprém and the Balaton region. Let us first start with the program director, and that is Friederika Mike.
Good evening, dear guests, dear excellencies, dear colleagues and friends. I have thought a lot what to say in these 5 minutes tonight, and I decided I will just share some tiny bit of a really complex vision what means European Capital of Culture for us in Veszprém. And I have to say I don't only represent Veszprém as a city, but a whole region, the Bakony-Balaton region. I represent the 115 municipalities. We are working together since the very beginning. It means we have villages not more than 65 inhabitants settled among the vineyards, and up to cities of 60,000 inhabitants with post-industrial paths, people coming and going every year. And it, it reflects in the constantly changing city landscape. At the very beginning, we set the ambitious goal to become the first creative rural region in Hungary, and to find a definition for creativity in the rural setting, not only in the Hungarian, but maybe also in the European countryside. In Central Europe, in the past decades, we could observe that regional seats, regional city centers, lost their central role in culture. They somehow forgot to serve their region, and they are merely focusing on matters within their boundaries. The region around Veszprém is the second biggest, second most important tourist destination in Hungary after Budapest. And a couple of years ago we said that culture became somehow something like a tourist product, that the cultural offer concentrates more on the tourists coming here rather than on locals. But during the preparation years, sadly, we had to realize that's not our biggest problem, not the biggest challenge. And due or thanks to COVID and the economic crisis, new problems surfaced, and we had to tackle them. We have to realize that culture, cultural services, cultural capacities, human resources in the countryside are in dangerously short supply. Weeks and months can pass without a single cultural stimulus in a local community in a small village. And I don't think that's only a Hungarian phenomenon, but that's a general phenomenon in Central Europe, or maybe in whole Europe. And of course, during the 4 to 5 years of an ECoC cycle, we cannot change everything. But it can be the start of a change. And standing here just not more than 2 weeks before opening ceremony, and I hope and I believe that I can say we are the start of this change in our region. And yes, we are still talking about ECoCs, and we are still talking about cities, not only about villages. The future of a city is defined by the resilience of the surrounding region, and the future of the region, of the countryside, is determined by the economic and cultural health of a city, of the center of the region. It's something like a blood pact between a region, between the villages and the city. And our motto is, of our program, celebrating creativity. And we had to go back to the foundations. We had to go back to the basics, because creativity doesn't flourish by decision, or it doesn't know imperativus. It has to have a good basis. It has to know appreciation. It has to have inspiration. And this motto could be the motto of all European Capital of Cultures, I know. But each of us chose a different angle. Some took the cultural life and already vibrant big city to a completely other level. Some fostered the joint cultural thinking and joint cultural creation over borders. And we in Veszprém, we try to build a framework of joint action in a really fragmented region. We cannot compare ourselves with each other, but we learn a lot from each other, and I hope that other European cities can learn from us, taking one or two examples from our circles, which answers and reflects their problems, their visions, their ambitions. And I always use this example or parallel that we in Veszprém, we consider ECoC, the European Capital of Culture title, something like a scholarship. You know, when you go to university and you win an Erasmus scholarship, and you go abroad and you have a really good year. I think this is, beside ECoC, this is one of the best inventions of the European Union until now. So you work hard for it, you compete with each other, then you win the opportunity, you prepare yourself, and then you have a really good year somewhere, and that happens only once in a lifetime. You have new friendships, and you start seeing the world from a completely different angle. And when the year is over, it's not like just another year has passed. It changed your life. Some changes are instantly visible, but some you experience only years or decades later. And it's your responsibility how to make the most of this opportunity in your future and for the future for others. So ECoC is like this scholarship, but it's not the goal in itself. It's only a tool for shaping the future, in our case, shaping the future of a city, of a region. And at this handover ceremony, we are celebrating the 3 cities just finishing their awesome journey and starting to figure out how this changed the future of their city. And us, the 3 other cities, we are just boarding our train. And I hope in 1 year, we will stand in the same room maybe, with Badice, Tartu, and Bodo, European Capitals of Culture for 2024, when we will be proud of a year when we're looking back, and we are wishing them good luck, but in the meantime, good luck to us. Thank you very much.
We are very honored tonight to have the ambassador of Hungary here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Haupt.
Dear Vice President, dear Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Πρώτα απ' όλα θα ήθελα να σας καλωσορίζω εγκαρδίως από την πλευρά της Ουγγαρίας, από την πλευρά της Veszprém Balaton, περιφέρεια, καθώς και από την πλευρά της Ουγγρικής Πρεσβείας. Είναι μεγάλη χαρά και τιμή να είμαστε εδώ μαζί σας με την ECoC κοινότητα. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure and honor for us to be here with the ECoC community. First of all, I would like to thank for the co-organizers for this inspiring handover ceremony and for the beautiful Acropolis Museum for the hospitality. Maybe here in Athens, no need to mention, but we like to say and we like to recall that the title of the European Capital of Culture was created more than 30 years ago at the initiative of the unforgettable Greek actor and then Minister of Culture, Melina Mercouri. This program became very soon one of the most important events in EU cultural policy. Ever since, it is continuously an integral part of the European Union's cultural policy with the aim at promoting greater knowledge and understanding of each other through culture. After the previous Hungarian Capital of Culture, Pécs in 2010, this year offers a unique opportunity to promote Veszprém together with the Bakony-Balaton region as a European creative and cultural center. It is important to stress that the Capital of Culture title is not just about the many programs that take place through the year, but rather about launching and strengthening long-term sustainable processes that will extend well beyond 2023. With this unique opportunity, the region will cement its position as a European cultural creative region from which not just the region, but whole Hungary and whole Central Europe can benefit. The cultural programs are grouped by both traditional cultural fields such as music, theater, art, dance, wine, and gastronomy. At the same time, There are several other clusters as well that frame the main ambitions of a new cultural region. These are, among others, supporting traditional and future-shaping activities in settlements that may be on the road less traveled, to raise awareness of the ecological challenges within the broader region, engage young people and stimulate their interest in culture through remarkable performances and presentations, and to strengthen people's connections to each other, their environment, and the culture of coexistence. Now for a year, Veszprém, Elefsina, and Timisoara will have a unique opportunity to bring through their rich program, their creative initiatives, the peoples of Europe even closer, and to promote greater knowledge of each other through culture. We wish a lot of success for the organizers and for all three capitals. Καλή επιτυχία και ευχαριστούμε. Ευχαριστώ. Thank you.
From Hungary, we go to Romania and the fascinating city of Timisoara. May I ask Alexandra Rigler, the director of the Center for Projects, to join me on stage? Thank you. And of course, after Alexandra, we'll listen to the Deputy Minister for Culture, Mr. Andras Demeter. Thank you.
Good evening, dear ECoC family members, distinguished guests. We are honored to be here and to represent Timisoara 2023. There were many very important ideas and thoughts and wishes that were articulated by the speakers before me, plus the speech of Mr. Demeter is much better, so I will be shortly, and I don't have much to add. Still, it is important to underline the importance of this moment as a moment of reflection. It's important to reflect on what happened throughout the years since 1985, when Athens was the first title holder, a period in which Europe encountered many challenges, social, economical, political, environmental, you name them. A period also with a lot of turning points. We, Timisoara, had an important turning point in 1989 when the revolution started in Timisoara. We were the first city in Romania to be free of communism after a very harsh communist regime. And like Timisoara, every city has its turning point or turning points. And one of the most important functions of this project is that it creates a platform, a context for us to share knowledge, to discuss about our values, to discuss about our turning points, to recover the act of dialogue, and to promote critical attitude in order to have the Europe we dream of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandra. As practitioners, we have to create, not to speak about the creations. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I have, and I'm proud to have, the genuine emotions of the moments between the echo of the gongs and the raising of the curtain. Since I have been working for a long time and with great passion and enthusiasm on the preparation of this complex score. I'm happy to be today one of the two ambassadors of an extraordinary team consisting of representatives of both central and local authorities, Minister of Culture, Timisoara City Hall, Timis County Council, members of implementation and associative structures, which, along with many others, form the TM 2023 ECoC team. I'm honored to represent in these shared and meaningful moments here in Athens, the government of Romania, the Ministry of Culture. Moreover, I'm really glad that in the preparation of this year, we have succeeded not only in reforming the legal framework of non-reimbursable funds for culture, but also, for the first time in our legislative system, we have set up all necessary tools so that the 33.7 million euros from the state budget reach Timișoara. In this year of growth and evolution for all the partners who joined their efforts so that Timișoara could shine, the third part of this amount assigned to the cultural program and 2/3 of it assigned to the infrastructure program can be invested for the benefit of citizens and visitors like artists, creators, organizations, institutions, administration, business and the academic environment, and last but not least, co-authors and/or cultural consumers. I'm convinced that Timișoara, along with Elefsina and Veszprém, Bokony, Balaton, will be a spotlight on the map of Europe. All these three cities, regions, and each of them being safe spaces for diversity and dialogue, cultural freedom and expression, but also strong examples of emphasizing and reaffirming the universal cultural values of the European civilization. I'm confident that I'm not the only one who thinks that the title of European Capital of Culture is not only a good opportunity for introspection and recognition of the history and identities, but also a joint investment in the power and resilient capacity of culture. A reinvestment in the millennial institution of the model in the European culture and education. Individuals, communities, societies have always relied on models. Every year, European communities, European societies receive a variety of patterns and new possible turnings for their own future coming from, to, and through the European capitals of culture. Let's keep our cultures connected and inspired. Thank you and congratulating Esch-sur-Alzette, Kaunas and Novi Sad. May we have a great ECoC year 2023.
Thank you. We have one more European Capital of Culture to go, and we might say it's a kind of a home game tonight for our next speakers. First, we are going to listen to the chair of the board of directors, Ms. Despoina Gerulano.
Κύριε Αντιδήμαρχε της Αντιπρόεδρε της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, αξιότιμες και αξιότιμοι κύριοι Υπουργοί, αξιότιμοι κύριοι Δήμαρχοι, φίλες και φίλοι. Είναι καταπληκτικό και συγκινητικό που βρισκόμαστε όλοι εδώ σήμερα λόγω του οράματος μιας παθιασμένης Ελληνίδας γυναίκας. Εδώ στην Αθήνα, στην πρώτη πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα της Ευρώπης. Το όραμα της Μελίνας ήταν ο πολιτισμός να γίνει το όχημα για τη γνωριμία και την ένωση των λαών μας και μέσα από αυτόν να οικοδομήσουμε την κοινή μας ευρωπαϊκή ταυτότητα. Ανήκουμε όλοι σε αυτή την ποικιλόμορφη και με πολύ εύθραυστες ισορροπίες Ήπειρο και οι πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες εστιάζουν στην ανάδειξη μέσα από τον πολιτισμό τις ιδιαιτερότητες του κάθε τόπου, αλλά και στην ευθυγράμμισή του με τις ευρωπαϊκές αρχές της ελευθερίας, της ειρήνης, της δημοκρατίας, του δικαίου, της ανθρώπινης αξιοπρέπειας, της προστασίας του περιβάλλοντος, της συμπερίληψης και της βελτίωσης της ποιότητας ζωής. Η Ελευσίνα που παίρνει σήμερα τα σκύπτρα, μαζί με το Βέσπρεμ και την Τιμισοάρα, θα μπορούσε να πει κανείς ότι είναι μια μικρογραφία της Ευρώπης με τα ίδια ακριβώς ζητήματα. Εργασία, περιβάλλον, μετανάστευση κλπ. Η Ελευσίνα είναι μία από τις σημαντικότερες ιερές αρχαίες πόλεις. Η πόλη των Ελευσινίων Μυστηρίων, όπου ανθρώπινες πομπές έφταναν εκεί για να μοιηθούν και αποβάλλοντας το φόβο του θανάτου, να συμφιλιωθούν μαζί του. Η γιορτή ήταν ανοιχτή σε όλους, ανεξαρτήτως φύλου, ηλικίας και κοινωνικής τάξης. Η μοναδική ίσως πόλη με αρχές συμπερίληψης στην αρχαιότητα. Η Ελευσίνα όμως είναι και μια πόλη με ακραίες αντιθέσεις. αυτή η πόλη του πανάρχαιου πολιτισμού, η έφορη πεδιάδα της Θεάς Δήμητρας, η γενέτειρα του Εσχύλου, μετατρέπεται σε μια πόλη βιομηχανική για τις ανάγκες της εποχής. Ίσως είχαν ένα νόημα όλα αυτά, αλλά την πλήγωσαν βαθιά. Αργότερα ακολούθησε από βιομηχάνηση και η μοιραία ανεργία και τα εξαιρετικής αρχιτεκτονικής βιομηχανικά κτίρια ερήμωσαν. Ωστόσο, η ίδια η πόλη υπερβαίνει αυτές τις αντιθέσεις. Η οξύμορη αυτή συνύπαρξη συνθέτει τη μοναδικότητα της Ελευσίνας, με τις ψηλές καμινάδες δίπλα στα αρχαία μνημεία, καθιστώντας την έτσι μια ξεχωριστή σύγχρονη ευρωπαϊκή πόλη. Γιατί οι πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες γίνονται πια τέτοιες ξεχωριστές πόλεις, που έχουν πληγές καμιά φορά, ακριβώς για να ορίσουν μέσα από τον πολιτισμό τη μετάβασή τους την επόμενη μέρα. Πάνω λοιπόν σε αυτή τη συνάντηση του παρελθόντος με τη σύγχρονη δημιουργία βασίζεται και το καλλιτεχνικό πρόγραμμα με τίτλο «Μυστήρια μετάβασης», το οποίο κινείται σε 3 άξονες: άνθρωπος, κοινωνία, περιβάλλον και εργασία. Με αφορμή την 2023 Ελευσής, η Ελευσίνα αλλάζει πρόσωπο. Τα βιομηχανικά κτίρια ζωντανεύουν ξανά και η πόλη γίνεται κέντρο καινοτόμων, δημιουργικών και ποικιλόμορφων πολιτιστικών δράσεων. Πρωτότυπες δημιουργίες όλων των τεχνών, δράσεις δικτύωσης, residencies, προγράμματα κατάρτισης, αξιοποίηση του πολιτιστικού δυναμικού και των ανθρώπων της πόλης, διεπιστημονικοί διάλογοι, δράσεις για το περιβάλλον και πολλά μεγάλα γεγονότα συνθέτουν τα μυστήρια μετάβασης. Η αποκατάσταση των βιομηχανικών κτηρίων που γίνονται χώροι πολιτισμού και η δημιουργία νέων θεσμών που θα παραμείνουν στην πόλη είναι η υλική και άειλη παρακαταθήκη που θα βάλουν ξανά την Ελευσίνα στο χάρτη ακριβώς έτσι όπως της αξίζει, ως ένα μοναδικό ευρωπαϊκό πολιτιστικό προορισμό. Θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω αρχικά την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή για τις πολύτιμες συμβουλές όλα αυτά τα χρόνια και για το βραβείο που πριν από λίγο καιρό μας έδωσε. Το Δήμο της Ελευσίνας, την Περιφέρεια και το Υπουργείο Πολιτισμού για τη βοήθεια και τη συμπαράσταση, όπως και όλους τους χορηγούς μας. Δεν θα είχαμε φτάσει μέχρι εδώ χωρίς αυτή τη μικρή, αλλά τόσο αποτελεσματική ομάδα της 2023 Ελευσής, που τα κατάφερε μέχρι εδώ και μπαίνει δυναμικά στη χρονιά του τίτλου. Και πάνω απ' όλα να ευχαριστήσω τους 2 πολύτιμους ανθρώπους της διοργάνωσης, την Ανά Σπυροπούλου, τη Διευθύνουσα Σύμβουλό μας, και χωρίς τις γνώσεις της και την προσπάθειά της δεν θα είχαν επιτευχθεί όλα αυτά, και τον καλλιτεχνικό μας διευθυντή που εμπνέει όλους μας, τον Μιχαήλ Μαρμαρινό. Βέσπρεμ και τη Μισουάρα, χαιρόμαστε που είσαστε σήμερα μαζί μας και που θα ξεκινήσουμε μαζί την κοινή μας πορεία. Σας ευχόμαστε με όλη μας την καρδιά πολύ καλή επιτυχία, γνωρίζοντας από πρώτο χέρι πόσο δύσκολο εγχείρημα έχετε αναλάβει. Ευχαριστούμε και το Κάουνας και το Νόβισατ που είναι εδώ μαζί μας και ιδιαίτερα το Σιουγαλσέτ για την ιδέα και τη διοργάνωση. Μας βοηθήσατε όλοι πολύ αυτά τα χρόνια με τις γνώσεις και την εμπειρία σας. Μακάρι λοιπόν ο θεσμός αυτός που μόλις σήμερα ξεκινά να γίνει μόνιμος και η Αθήνα σημείο συνάντησης όλων των πολιτιστικών πρωτευουσών. Είναι μια πολύ σημαντική μέρα για όλους μας. Είναι γιορτή του πολιτισμού, είναι η γιορτή της Ευρώπης και είναι βέβαιο ότι η Μελίνα θα ήταν πολύ χαρούμενη και πολύ περήφανη σήμερα.
Elefsina, the new European capital of culture, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't understand Greek, please use the headphones because I have the honor to announce to you the last speaker tonight, and that is the Minister of Culture in Greece, Minister Melina Mercouri.
Κύριε Επίτροπε, Αντιπρόεδρε της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, φίλε Μαργαρίτη, κύριοι Υπουργοί, αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι, κύριοι Δήμαρχοι, κύριοι Βουλευτές, κυρίες και κύριοι. Νιώθω σήμερα και εκφράζω, νομίζω, όλους τους συναδέλφους μου στο Υπουργείο Πολιτισμού ιδιαίτερη χαρά και τιμή που είμαστε όλοι εδώ μαζί, στο Μουσείο της Ακρόπολης, το χώρο που εκπέμπει διεθνώς το διαχρονικό μήνυμα των ιδεωδών της δημοκρατίας σε αυτή τη μεγάλη γιορτή, την παράδοση του τίτλου της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας σε 3 πόλεις της Ευρώπης που έχουν προετοιμαστεί προκειμένου η ευρωπαϊκή δημιουργία το 2023 να ανοίξει νέους ορίζοντες καλλιτεχνικής παραγωγής, νέους ορίζοντες στην πολιτιστική επικοινωνία και στην όσμωση των σύγχρονων ευρωπαϊκών ρευμάτων σε όλες τις μορφές της τέχνης. Μαζί με την Τιμισοάρα από τη Ρουμανία και τη Βέσπρεμ από την Ουγγαρία, η Ελευσίνα παραλαμβάνει σήμερα τη σκητάλη της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας της Ευρώπης. Είναι η αρχαιότερη από τις 3 πόλεις και επομίζεται μια μεγάλη ευθύνη. Όχι μόνο να γεφυρώσει με δέος το μεγάλο ιστορικό, πολιτιστικό και λατρευτικό παρελθόν της, αλλά να το δέσει αρμονικά με το σύγχρονο παρόν της και με το ελπιδοφόρο μέλλον της. Να ανατάξει την ιστορία της στη μεγάλη ιστορική διάρκεια, περνώντας από τους μυστικούς τοίχους του Εσχύλου στις μορφές της τέχνης που αντικατοπτρίζουν και αντανακλούν την εποχή μας. Ο θεσμός της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας της Ευρώπης, όπως είναι απόλυτα γνωστό, το ακούσαμε πολλές φορές σήμερα, δημιουργήθηκε το 1985 από τη Μελίνα Μερκούρη. Γεννήθηκε εδώ στην Αθήνα και είμαστε περήφανοι γι' αυτό. Η Αθήνα συμβολίζει πάντα τη δημοκρατία, τις ανθρωπιστικές, τις ουμανιστικές αξίες του δυτικού κόσμου. Όλες αυτές οι αξίες της ελευθερίας, της ειρήνης, της δημιουργίας, που απεικονίζονται με έναν ιδανικό τρόπο στη ζωφόρο του Παρθενώνα, σε αυτά τα γλυπτά που παραμένουν διαμελισμένα ανάμεσα στην Αθήνα και στο Λονδίνο. Ελπίζω όχι για πολύ ακόμα. Η πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα επισημαίνει τον πλούτο και την ποικιλομορφία των πολιτισμών που αναπτύχθηκαν στη Γυραιά Ήπειρο. Ενισχύει το αίσθημα του ανήκειν σε ένα κοινό πολιτιστικό τόπο στον Ευρωπαίο πολίτη. Αποτελεί την ευκαιρία της επικοινωνίας και της σύγκλησης των δημιουργικών δυνάμεων της Ευρώπης, προωθώντας παράλληλα τις κοινές ευρωπαϊκές αξίες και τις πολιτικές της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, σμίγοντας αποτελεσματικά στα περιφερειακά δίκτυα το πολιτιστικό όραμα με τον δημιουργικό τομέα. Συμβάλλει στην αναζωογόνηση των πόλεων, στη δημιουργία υποδομών και δικτύων, υλικών και άειλων, που εγγυώνται ένα καλύτερο και πλουσιότερο μέλλον στους κατοίκους των πόλεων που επιλέγονται ως πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες. Για την Ελλάδα, η πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα 2023 Ελευσής επιστρέφει στη γενέθλια γη. Η 2023 Ελευσής αποτελεί μια μοναδική ευκαιρία διεθνούς προβολής του σύγχρονου ελληνικού και συνάμα ευρωπαϊκού πολιτισμού σε μια πόλη που είναι γεμάτη από αριστουργηματικά μνημεία, αρχαίες μνήμες και ιστορικές γραφές της ελληνικής αλλά και της ευρωπαϊκής πολιτιστικής κληρονομιάς. Η Ελευσίνα για άλλη μια φορά συστήνεται ως τόπος κοινωνικής ανάπτυξης, καινοτομίας και συλλογικότητας. Τα Ελευσίνια μυστήρια και το έργο του Εσχύλου που συνδέθηκε μοναδικά, μυστικά και άρρηκτα με τη γενέτειρά του, την Ιερή Πόλη, συγκροτεί ένα μοναδικό πλαίσιο ιστορίας για το σύγχρονο θεσμό της Ευρωπαϊκής Πολιτιστικής Πρωτεύουσας. Το όνομα της πόλης προέρχεται από το αρχαίο ελληνικό ρήμα «ελεύθω», που σημαίνει «έρχομαι», σημειώνοντας τον τόπο της άφιξης, τον προορισμό, προμηνύοντας τον ερχομό και αναγγέλλοντας την αποκάλυψη. Καλλιεργεί την προσδοκία και την άφιξη ενός σημαντικού γεγονότος, όπως αυτό που πρόκειται να πραγματοποιηθεί εδώ τους επόμενους μήνες και να αποκαλυφθεί σταδιακά, να αναδυθεί μέσα στο 2023. Ωστόσο, για την πόλη της Ελευσίνας η διοργάνωση της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας σημαίνει κάτι πολύ σημαντικό. Είναι η ευκαιρία της πόλης να ξανασυστηθεί, να μεταμορφωθεί, να εξυγχρονιστεί και να επανεφεύρει τη σύγχρονη ταυτότητά της, αξιοποιώντας νέες υποδομές που απέκτησε για να δημιουργήσει πολιτισμό, συνεισφέροντας αποφασιστικά στην πολιτιστική λειτουργία της πόλης. Η Ελευσίνα μεταμορφώνεται. Μετασχηματίζεται, κύριε Δήμαρχε, από μια βιομηχανική πόλη σε ένα τοπόσιμο ελληνικής και ευρωπαϊκής δημιουργίας. Είναι καιρός πια η Περσεφόνη να ξαναβγεί στου κόσμου το μπαλκόνι και η θάλασσα να γίνει και πάλι ευλογία. Η σημερινή κυβέρνηση, βρέθηκε κοντά στην Ελευσίνα από την πρώτη στιγμή, στηρίζοντας ουσιαστικά το Δήμο και διαθέτοντας σημαντικούς πόρους. Με το συντονισμό του Υπουργείου Πολιτισμού και Αθλητισμού, η Ειδική Διυπουργική Επιτροπή, που συγκροτήθηκε ad hoc για την Ελευσίνα, έδωσε τις απαιτούμενες λύσεις στα άλυτα και χρονίζοντα προβλήματα που υπήρχαν. Έτσι, δημιούργησε κατάλληλες συνθήκες για να φτάσουμε σήμερα εδώ, με την Ελευσίνα να παραλαμβάνει πριν λίγο καιρό με επένους το βραβείο Μελίνα Μερκούρη. Η πορεία δεν ήταν απλή. Όπως τίποτα δεν ήταν και δεν είναι απλό στην Ελευσίνα, από την εποχή των μισθών, των προσφύγων, των εργατών στις Υψηκαμίνους. Η απονομή του βραβείου είναι το επιστέγασμα μιας συνολικής προσπάθειας, μιας εργόδους προσπάθειας της τοπικής κοινωνίας, του Δήμου, όλων όσων πίστεψαν ότι η διοργάνωση της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας είναι η ευκαιρία της Ελευσίνας που δεν πρέπει με τίποτε να χαθεί. Δημιουργήθηκαν υποδομές που πάντοτε ήταν χρόνια αιτήματα της τοπικής κοινωνίας. Αυτές οι υποδομές είναι ένας πλούτος για την Ελευσίνα. Είναι η πολύτιμη παρακαταθήκη για την πορεία της πόλης στο μέλλον. Ένα μέλλον δυναμικό, καινοτόμο, δημιουργικό. Σε αυτή τη νέα διαδρομή φιλοδοξούμε να πορευθούν αρμονικά, να συνεργαστούν, να εμπνευστούν, να είναι πηγή συνδημιουργίας το πολιτιστικό απόθεμα της πόλης με τη δημιουργική φαντασία και την ευρηματικότητα του σύγχρονου καλλιτέχνη. Είμαστε περήφανοι για την εμβληματική ιερή πόλη της Ελευσίνας. Είμαστε περήφανοι γιατί με όσα κατάφερε είναι βέβαιο ότι θα μεταδώσει ως ευρωπαϊκή πολιτιστική πρωτεύουσα τη δύναμη και το πάθος της σύγχρονης δημιουργίας. Είμαστε περήφανοι για όλους αυτούς που εργαστήκαμε μαζί με πίστη, σύμπνοια, αφοσίωση για να φτάσουμε στη σημερινή μέρα, που η Ελευσίνα ακτινοβολεί, έτοιμη να υποδεχθεί και πάλι τις πομπές των μισθών, να διδάξει τα σύγχρονα μυστήρια μετάβασης του Μιχαήλ Μαρμαρινού. Σήμερα, τις πρώτες μέρες ενός νέου χρόνου, ο οποίος ξεκινά ενώ ο πόλεμος μένεται μέσα στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ήπειρο, καταστρέφοντας τον πολιτισμό μιας χώρας, ο θεσμός της πολιτιστικής πρωτεύουσας αποκτά περισσότερο βαρύνουσα σημασία. Οι τρεις πόλεις, η Ελευσίνα, η Τιμισοάρα και η Βέσπρεμ, οφείλουν να αναδείξουν και να προβάλλουν την κοινή ευρωπαϊκή πολιτιστική μας ταυτότητα. Όλοι είμαστε Ευρωπαίοι και ας μην αντιλαμβανόμαστε στην καθημερινότητά μας όλη την Ευρώπη με τον ίδιο τρόπο. Όμως, όλοι ζούμε και βλέπουμε την Ευρώπη και είμαστε πολύ τυχεροί γι' αυτό. Και αυτό το πλεονέκτημά μας οφείλουμε να το υπερασπιστούμε, να το βιώσουμε, να το διατηρήσουμε. Να μην το απεμπολίσουμε με τίποτα. Να μην το χαρίσουμε σε ολοκληρωτιστές, καιροσκόπους και λαϊκιστές. Καλή επιτυχία στις τρεις πολιτιστικές πρωτεύουσες της Ευρώπης. Την Τιμισοάρα, τη Βέσπρεμ και τη δική μας Ελευσίνα. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Thank you very much. Now, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that we have reached the moment suprême of tonight's ceremony, and I really hope this will become a tradition. It would be fantastic to meet here every year in Athens to complete the official handover, to pass the flame from 3 European capitals of culture to 3 new European capitals of culture. So I'll stand here in the middle of the stage and I'll ask the 3 directors of the outgoing capitals to join me on stage here, but not before taking one of these beautiful sculptures. Okay. And then I'll ask the 3 directors of the new European capitals of culture to stand here. Or the other way around. Okay. As you wish. This will be a beautiful picture moment. So photographers, camera people. Okay. And let's do this now. Ladies and gentlemen, the official handover from Esch-sur-Alzette, Kaunas and Novi Sad to Elefsina, Veszprém Balaton and Timișoara. Please give them a warm applause. Go ahead. Fantastic. Now, the final words for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are for Nancy Brown, CEO of ESH 2022.
So, dear guests, yes, it's done. And just a final note on behalf of the 6 cities, we would really like to thank you, not only for accepting our invitation tonight, but also for the support and the motivation we feel here today. And this is exactly what the cities that are celebrating this title year need. The support at whatever level is important so that we can fulfill our common task for culture and for Europe. So, dear teams from Elefsina, Veszprém, Timișoara, you can count on us. You can count on all your family members who are so proud of what you have already achieved. I think today we are really laying the basis, and we heard it already for several times. So we are laying the basis for a real tradition, a moment that symbolizes the future of Europe through culture, an image for a common project which connects us all, the European Capital of Culture. And actually, what would be a tradition without a fixed date in our agenda? And as we all are very busy people, so please save the date for the official handover in 2024 on the 8th of January. And, of course, be our guest. And just a final conclusion on a personal note. My warmest thanks are going, of course, to my team and all of the other teams and persons implicated in this fabulous moment we are celebrating this evening. I think, really, without you, this wouldn't have been possible at all. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for all your help, for all your assistance, for your support. So, I think it's the time to start the celebration.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us tonight. Please enjoy the wonderful programs of the European Capitals of Culture 2023. Good luck to the new title holders. And please join us later tonight and have a drink here at the cocktail bar. Thanks a lot. Thank you.